Hey, how's it going? We are going to do an unboxing and setup of the Creality Ender 3 Pro. So I have not even taken it out of the Amazon package yet, so let's see how this thing goes, and I want to take you guys along for the journey. So we got the inner Amazon box, and we're going to cut this open. And see what we got inside. Hopefully it's all here and undamaged. It looks mostly assembled. Not a whole lot for instruction manuals first. And it's plugged into stuff, so we gotta be careful not to yank the cords out. Got a couple rails. Oh, this looks like the that's the control panel. Looks like the power supply. Yeah, it looks like the power supply. Here is the extruder, it looks like. So, oh. Hopefully I'm not losing pieces. Probably a Z-axis motor. A whole bunch of parts. Looks like the carriage. A couple power cords, miscellaneous parts. I really do not know how to assemble this yet, so it is going to be interesting to see. Oh, I dropped the Z-axis screw, and I got a tube and Z-axis screw. That is everything that came in the box. They do have a instruction manual for assembly, so we'll see how good it is. It's very colorful, but it doesn't have a lot of detailed instructions. So you just got your parts list. Step one is assembling the Z-axis rails. Really, so we need parts 16, 15, and we need 4 of the M5 by 45 bolts. I don't know if it comes with the, yeah, it does come with the wrenches. That's awesome. That is a big plus. I'm happy with that. We're looking for M5 by 45, which have got to be M5 by 45. These guys right here. I don't know if these are actually identical, and they're not because there's holes in different places. So one of them has, looks like mounts for the, okay, I'm kind of actually confused already. '15 has just the 2 holes right here, so this is 15. 16 has the holes at the bottom. It looks like we're looking at it from the front, so 16 with the holes on the bottom goes on this side. And then 15 is going to go on this side. And we want, it looks like the longer, they're talking about the longer length from that, so it's going to go like that. So we'll just kind of set this one off to the side. We'll get number 16 in place, and we'll see. So now we need to know, do these holes, looks like they go in on the inside. If we're looking at the front, these holes look like they're going inside. You want the longer to this hole. on top, the shorter one on the bottom. I'm believing it's gonna go like that. So let's do it. Just make sure you don't cross thread. Don't over tighten, but make sure it's snug. That feels good actually. Make sure not crushing any wires either. So at the end of the day, we want to work in 3D printer, so we'll see how it goes. Step 2, we're gonna put the screen and the power supply on. So the power supply goes on this rail. That's what these two bolts are for, to hold the power supply in place. The screen is held on with two little M5x8, and then we need M4x20. So we need to find those two. There's the M4x20s, M5x8. So do we do the power supply first, or do we do the front control panel? Let's do the control panel. Now, I've been looking up upgrades. Obviously, I'm going to do a lot of the printable upgrades, including the exposed black PCB, but just as a finishing standpoint, I do wish that it would come with a back on it already. Okay, screen is on. That was pretty simple. I feel like I should have plugged something in before I put the screen on, but you know what? They told me to put the screen on, so I'm going to put the screen on. The goal is to follow the directions, not do my own thing. That's on there solid. So we got that mounted, So we got to figure out how this mounts. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Goes right in this rail. Little switch part up. Limiting switch for the Z-axis. Oh, it rests right on the rail. Okay, so there's a little gel piece that rests right on the rail. That's how you know where to go. Okay, not bad at all. So it's gonna go all the way down. Rest on the rail. Line it up with the other rail. Lock it into place. Make sure those T-nuts are grabbing on the rail. Okay, good. It did give a little bit of a close-up picture on that. That was not bad. Next is from the back side, we're going to mount the Z-axis motor. Z-axis motor goes opposite the power supply, so we're going to have to flip this whole thing around without hopefully breaking any wires or anything that's all dangling around. We need M4 by 18P, and they go, so I'm guessing the M4 by 18P, they're the little countersunk ones, and they go in from the motor mount bracket into the rail. So the rail is tapped, so they're not going through it. So we will flip my machine around a little bit more, give you a better view on it. So we're looking at the back side of the machine. Two countersunk holes on that. One screw goes in each. I'm gonna get the one started. I think the other screw is just gonna get in the way. Threads right into the rail itself. It's tapped at the bottom here. They don't have you putting it doesn't show the rod being put in yet. I guess we're gonna have to make some assumptions. Oh, this rod has a little bit of grease on it too, so your hands are gonna get dirty. And that's locked down. That's locked down. That's not going anywhere. Okay. This one's a little confusing. So this doesn't ride on the rails. It has this nut here and this hole on this side. That goes kind of into that hole. And there's two little screw holes on the back, so it's sitting on the outside of the rail. This is gonna ride down the Z-axis. Kind of like so, I believe. You see the hole? See the nut? Kind of like that. It's best I can do for you. We need M4 by 16s again. My light's layering too much in there, so M4 by 16. So we need two of these guys. Okay. So I got the bolts fed through right here. It's hard to see. Probably can't see it. The bolts fed through here. And going through the top. Hopefully I grabbed the right wrench. Looks like the right size. There we go. Yeah, not bad, not bad. That's solid, you know. I got that on there. I wonder if I can give you a good look at it. Kind of how it goes together. So you got the rail here. Two little bolts in there and there. You come in through these top holes to screw them down. Next, it looks like we're going to mount the carriage for the x-axis. I feel like I don't have enough cord. It's got to be tangled up somewhere. It is completely wrapped around. Oh no. Don't give me too much trouble. There we go. So this is what I was talking about. This has to, I was gonna say there's no way there's enough cord. I only had to loosen it to get it out, but probably step number one, unravel that. It was wrapped around the whole bed. Once you get this rail on and the power supply is too tight to the bed to get the cord out. So loosened it up, moved it out of the way. We got it. Didn't have to take the whole thing apart. Just need to tighten this rail back down and we'll be back to where we were. Okay, so now we're back to this part. You got a couple different pieces and I need to figure out what's what. So you got the carriage here. The picture wants us to look at the carriage like this. This would be the y-axis. No, x-axis. Carriage. So it's asking us for part number 5, part number 4. Part number 5 is the part with the hot end. This way is the correct up position. When this is on, the hot end is going to slide through facing this direction. So hot end's down, this is up, opposite side of the carriage obviously, so I can get full travel. Not bad, so that's on. You have to do that before you put this bracket on. It looks like it's pretty universal. They got a little cutout for that hole, and it looks like it mounts down with 2 M4 by 16 nuts again. These are the M4x16. I think it's the same nuts we used on this one. Or bolts, screws. I guess these are more screws. Sorry, I am talking bad. So this is asymmetrical, but the little part that's more angular, that's gonna go the lesser degree. Boom, that's going up. It can only go on one way, so it's not too bad. Tighten that side down, and so our carriage is done. We can move the thing on there nicely. This is gonna sit, I believe, like so. Somewhere in there. Belt tensioner time. Put the belt tensioner on. So let's put this whole carriage down. I think it sits fine just like that. That's not big enough. That's what she said. Belt tensioner can really only go on one way, so I don't think we're gonna do too bad. Obviously, probably just hand tightening this for now. We'll do, because we're gonna need to tighten the belt at some point anyways, so I'm not even gonna wrench down on that at this point. Now it's time to attach the belt. I think I got it. It actually does need to be a little bit tighter, so not bad, not bad. Make sure I have the right wrench. So you want it to feed in the channel, obviously. I put these on the upright. It wasn't really clear on the instructions, but it feels that this is the only way it's gonna go. It needs to go through this. There's a little pulley in this side. It needs to go around that pulley. Keep it in the channel underneath the rollers. Now it's locked in. I just need to tighten it up. Not too bad, just a little bit of feeding. And the belt is on. That's that step. So now we can drive the X-axis. This is actually going to go down the rails at this point. Okay, it went. So it did slide down. Having a little bit of binding trouble with it coming back up, but you know what? It slid down. Probably one of the first upgrades I'm gonna do is the Z-axis. This just feels like it's binding a lot, but it will go up and down. Don't know exactly what I did to fix it. I'm gonna tighten down this, but not over tighten it like they said. It does seem to be riding a little bit smoother. So the carriage is on. Now it's time for the top rail, this guy right here. Looks like it can really only go on one way. It's got the countersunk holes. Top rail, we need 2 M5x25 bolts. Oh, we need 4 of them. Yeah, 4 of them. I said 2. 4 of them, obviously. Top rail is on. M5x8 nuts, or bolts, M5x8 T-nuts. T-nuts go in. somehow. Make sure I have the right wrench right away so I'm not screwing around later. Looking at it from the front, the finished side goes here. That's gripping. Looks like it's in about the right spot. Don't think you can really have a right or wrong answer on this. Just this little nut. Nothing too difficult about that. So that was the last assembly part. The rest of it is just connecting motors together. So this is the limit switch. This is the X-axis drive motor. This is the extruder. The Z is coming off right here. Make sure we get it pointed in the right direction. Everything's a little tight down here, but it appears that they give you enough cable. But it is, I wish they gave you an extra marginal inch, because I feel like I'm going to bend these cables into a position that I don't want to. Obviously they don't want stuff getting caught in the everything, but yeah, it's still, that's really tight. So we got a little Z axis limit switch cable that's coming out the front here, and I'm sure it's going to go into this board right here. So we got the Z limit switch plugged in. We got the Z axis, the ribbon board, the ribbon cable back here that gets fed through the front. The power cable right here, obviously connected into the power cable from the power supply. And let's flip this whole thing around, weave this cable back. There's some cable clip mods that I am definitely gonna do for the ribbon cable, but for right now it's supposed to kind of feed along this rail. Come back here, yep, between this and this, and it gets plugged into the back of the board into EXP3. EXP1, 2, and 3, so it's the last one closest to the bed of the thing. Boom. Put these little end caps on the top. I mean, more cosmetic than anything, but still a good thing to have. Don't know if it matters which direction they go on. Probably look better this way. Put those caps on. That was in a previous step. Went a little out of order on that one, but it doesn't affect anything. Just peel off the little sticker of the screen. No, we're obviously not done yet. We still gotta get the tube in place. It does appear there's a nozzle already on there. They did have a little step kind of showing the nozzle, but as far as I can tell, it's basically just telling you you're on your own with the whole looks like it comes with one spare nozzle and one spare tube. I'm surprised that they didn't. So these clips, I heard that this tube especially has a tendency to want to pull out, so you put these little clips on there after it's on, so it stays in place. This one we're obviously going to have to screw on to the extruder. Pop this all the way in there. Make sure that doesn't come out. It looks like the extruder kind of holds it in place, and then that shouldn't come out. Okay, last little step before we turn this thing on is that you have to select what voltage you're using. It's on the back of the power supply. I'll show you kind of, because this is pretty important. Back of the power supply, before you turn it on, there's a little switch. It has 115 or 240 volt. Make sure that is switched to the correct power, otherwise it will not turn on. It fired right up. You can see the screen's on. So yeah, that is what you need to do. Switch that little switch on the back of the power supply. Very helpful. Hopefully, if I can save one person from that issue, now that I've backed that up a lot, let's kind of get up to where it was. This thing is fired up. So it's going to auto home it. So that's homed. I'm not ready for my first print, but I feel like this is a good place to end the video. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm definitely going to edit this down. Maybe take out a couple of my idiotic mistakes, but hopefully it was entertaining. Hopefully it was informational. This is a complete newbie. I have a built Ender 3 Pro. I am happy with it. And I got it to turn on. Anyways, thank you for watching again. If you want to see a lot more 3D printing content, just subscribe. I'm going to be going through upgrades, doing some fun prints. I got a lot of ideas for the channel, and we'll see how things go. So thank you for watching again, and have a good night.